So have you ever watched someone's interaction with someone at a restaurant or a grocery store, even a gas station, and quickly realize that they've never worked in a customer service position?
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad.
Thank you all so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Treshawn, and I make videos on lifestyle, womanhood, and mental health. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for your support. Okay, so as you all know, I work in the insurance industry and I do a lot of customer service, and I have been doing a customer service type position for pretty much my whole career in the workforce. Although it's not where I ultimately want to end up, I do think that it's very important to work at least one customer service position in your lifetime. Yes, I think it's important for everyone to work at least one. And the reason why I say it is because there are some skills that I feel like I've accumulated over the years that have helped me in a lot of different ways, not just at work. So if you are interested in hearing my 5 different reasons why everyone should work a customer service position, go on ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so one of the first reasons I feel that it is important to work in a customer service type position at least one time in your life is because it gives you insight into the behind the scenes of what's going on at a lot of companies. So the example that I wanted to use is the bank. Specifically retail banking, like where you would go inside the bank, do your transactions, you have your tellers, your bankers, your branch manager, all that good stuff. So I worked in the bank for about 8 years. I did it from like the end of high school throughout college and a couple years after. And one thing was constant, like it was, although it wasn't a bad job, it was tough because you are dealing with a lot of different personalities. You're dealing with the public. So if the lines are super long, if someone was charging overdraft fee, if they didn't feel they should have been charged, or whatever the case may be, there was always like something, there was always a battle. So part of the issue with working in a bank, especially long term, is that more often than not, you are short-handed. Not you, the employee, but the branch is short-handed. There's a lot of turnover in that industry, and a lot of times it's just because customer service can be difficult. So a lot of the tellers that you see are typically young people. You do have some, some people that do it as a career, but in my experience, it was a lot of young people and a lot of people doing it to get through college or whatever the case. They would either move up or they would find another job altogether. But the issue with that is that we were constantly looking for employees, and when that would happen, our lines would be longer. People still had to take lunch. There are rules in California. I don't know about everywhere else, but you get to take lunch before your 5th hour. So depending on what time people start, you might have a couple people out to lunch at, a certain time. And these were particularly difficult times because you would get chewed out as an employee. People think that, it's your fault, and they think that you're not moving fast enough, not knowing that you are working the fastest that you can with the situation at hand. And, you may have had somebody that came in prior that had several different transactions, and that could have slowed down the line. So there's a lot of different moving pieces, but as a customer, sometimes you don't see that. And I'm not saying that it's wrong for you not to see that, but I feel like it's helpful to kind of understand what's going on behind the scenes, because it could save a lot of drama and a lot of bad blood between the employees and the customers. So yeah, it's good to know what's happening behind the scenes, because then you might understand why the line is taking a little bit longer than what it should. I know for me, I rarely go into the bank these days. A lot of things are automated, but if I do have to go into the bank and I do have to wait a little bit longer, because I've done that job before, I'm not quick to snap at an employee, because there is a number of things that could be going on. And so I don't know what's going on, so I'm just gonna kind of let it ride. And honestly, if it's that big of a deal, I'll come back later. Okay, so my number 2 reason why it's important to do a customer service type position is because I feel like working those types of positions can teach you empathy if you don't have it already. So in my experience, just in working all different types of jobs, when you're customer facing and working with the public, a lot of times people will confide in you, people will talk to you about more personal matters, depending on how you come off to them. I always joke and say that working in customer service is almost like being a psychiatrist, a therapist, whatever the case may be, because people tell you some crazy stuff. But you kind of get to see life through other people's eyes. I don't know, there may be a situation that you've never gone through or never considered going through that someone is going through, and it's different when you read about something than when you actually talk to a physical person. One of the examples I can give, and I'm going to use banking again, is the overdraft fees. So you have some people that just were irresponsible and they would overdraft their account just because they didn't keep like a tight hold on their finances or whatever the case may be. But then you had a lot of people that were going into the negative, not because they wanted to go into the negative, but because they just simply didn't have enough money to cover their expenses. Or maybe they have children, maybe they have loved ones, and you know, they're going into the negative because they don't get paid until next week and they need that money to buy food for their family or whatever. It's easy to like pass judgment if you've never been in a situation and if you've never like known someone to have this type of situation. But when you work in customer service, a lot of times, again, you meet people from different walks of life, people that have different, you know, issues going on in their personal life, and they will tell you. So for me, I did kind of, not that I was ever judgmental, because I was very young when I started there, so I didn't really have enough life experience to judge anyone. And I mean, I didn't come from money either. But when I saw situations like that, it did make me just kind of look at everything, not just surface level, but look deeper into it. There's typically a reason why everyone does everything, and it's not always just like, oh, they're irresponsible or they're selfish or whatever the case may be. There could really be something going on, and you know, you need to learn how to empathize and, you know, just kind of see things from their point of view, as opposed to just like passing your judgment or passing off your experiences onto them, if that makes sense. Okay, so kind of similar to the second one, but a little different. I think the third reason why everyone should work a customer service position is because you do get exposure to different personality types and you get exposure to different cultures. I can say that throughout all of the customer service jobs that I've had, I've worked around like several different cultures, several different backgrounds, men, women, children, like just I've worked with everyone. And I have a better understanding of cultures that are different than mine. I feel like I'm way more accepting. Not saying that I wasn't accepting before, but there were a lot of things that I didn't understand and a lot of behaviors that I may have considered rude or taboo that now, like knowing what I know that, you know, people weren't being rude, people weren't being taboo. They were just acting in a way that's acceptable in their culture. I think that it's important, honestly, because when you travel, there's going to be differences. When you go into different parts of town, there's going to be differences. So you being exposed to that just makes you that much more well equipped to get along with others and to be able to make it wherever you go. Okay, so the fourth reason why it would be great to work a customer service position at least once is because it teaches you conflict resolution. This is probably one of my favorite ones because I cannot tell you how many times over the years I have questioned whether this job is really worth it or if I should just let, you know, this person have it. I am happy to say that, you know, I've never let myself get to that point, but it is tough. If you work in customer service, you know, you could have the best job, but somebody is going to try you at some point or another because that's just what people do. There is this notion that the customer is always right, and people will run with that even if they are dead wrong. So one skill that is very valuable that I feel like can be used in your personal life as well is learning how to take your emotions out of it, state the facts, and just tell somebody off basically without using profanity, without letting your emotions get into it, without screaming. I feel like I have mastered that at this point because, again, I've been doing this type of position for a long time, but you can definitely tell people that have not had a situation where they worked in customer service because their arguing skills may not be up to par. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying I noticed that when you have had to pretty much talk somebody down because they're talking to you crazy, they're attacking you personally when it's not you, it's the company that they're mad at, you figure out ways to express yourself, again, in a way where you are calm. You're basically saying the exact same thing, but you're saying it in a calm way, and you learn how to diffuse a situation. So yeah, if nothing else, customer service will teach you how to resolve a conflict. Okay, so my last reason for working a customer service position is that it will make you a better customer. So as I was saying earlier, going back to my first reason, I think that a lot of times if you understand what it's like to be that person that is helping the public, that's helping the customers, a lot of times you think before you react. So even if you are pissed off about something that happened, even if what the person's telling you isn't what you want to hear, you think twice, because there's a lot of moving pieces there. Sometimes the person that is talking to you on the other line is simply enforcing what their company told them to say or do. So cussing them out won't get you any closer to a resolution. Cussing out a manager won't get you any closer to a resolution. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to be mad, but you just understand that these people are people too. They're trying to help you in most cases. I'm not saying, because I know some employees that are assholes. So I'm not saying that employees can't be on that, wrong side of the coin. I'm not saying that. But I think that just you having done that position, you kind of understand, okay, well, if I want to get something done, or if it's even possible for me to have this done, instead of me cussing out this employee, let me see if I can talk to somebody that has the power to do what I'm asking them to do. Or is it something that I'm just going to have to chuck up? Am I being reasonable about what I'm asking, this company to do? It kind of makes you ask yourself those questions before you just start going in on somebody. So I hope that makes sense, but I can say for myself that working in customer service has definitely made me a better customer, because even when I'm in a situation where I want to lose my shit, I do think twice and I try to go about it in the most respectful way possible, but while still getting the outcome that I want to get. All right, you guys, so that is all I have today for this video. I just really felt the need to do this because I've been in several situations with friends, family, and just honestly seeing people like out in the public that are really acting ass, and sometimes it's warranted, but sometimes it's not. And I think a lot of times when you don't understand what the person is going through on the other side, you can just form your own opinions and think that people just don't want to help you. And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes they just simply can't do what you're asking them to do. So I just hope what you take away from this video is just, be nice, be reasonable, definitely turn up if somebody is being, disrespectful, or if somebody is doing something that isn't right, or they're going against what they say they were going to do. That's completely different. But even with that, there's a way to go about things. There are chains of command, and there's just a way that you speak to people. So anyway, if you enjoy this video, go on ahead and give me a big fat thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you are not subscribed, please go on ahead and click the subscribe button below, and be sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. With that being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.
You in the past, I'm in the